首先呢，先跟各位介绍2位今天重量级的贵宾啊，一位就是我们 MHI Global 的CEO Sam Rees， 请大家鼓掌欢迎。那在他上台来分享今天的重点之前呢，我简单的介绍一下Sam 他在全球有非常丰富的辅导经验啊。那各位知道，在销售顾问业界，通常年营业额的成长率，业界大概平均是1%。他进了这个公司之后呢，已经把这个公司的销售营业额带到9倍的成长。所以我相信在 Sam 的身上有非常精彩的、丰富的经验可以跟大家来分享。那么另外，同时担任这个段落翻译的是我们的哈佛气管的总监洪世国 Doc。那所以我想接下来我们就不浪费时间，接着你们的手，让我们把时间交给 Sam 还有 Doc。
Good morning. Good morning. Hear me okay? Nice to see everybody. Thanks. I was really excited to spend some time with you and talk to you a little bit about the new MHI Global, which is really the result of some acquisitions Miller Heiman has made with some new properties, and we're going to talk about our partners, and to announce our expanded partnership with HPO, which has been one of our top partners around the whole globe. So I was really excited to spend some time with everybody, and what I hope everybody can leave with a little better understanding of what we think is going on in the world of selling and customer management, and why we're so passionate about how we take this vision forward. I've been the CEO of Miller Heiman for 15 years. In fact, when I was thinking about that, 15 years, that's a long time. So as I thought about what I wanted to talk about today, I wanted to start with talking about our mission, our vision, and our purpose.
所以各位大家早，Sam Rees 他今天很荣幸能够来到台北，然后跟大家所有业界的一些精英还有前辈呢见面。那其实 Sam 在过去在带领 Miller Heiman 这家公司的过程当中，他有看到非常很多国外跟国内的一些趋势，他希望能够今天针对这些趋势呢，跟大家稍微做一些分享。他也希望能够在这个过程当中呢，告诉大家，实际上在整个销售的这个人才培育的领域里面，有哪一些地方其实是我们可以将一些世界的经验呢分享给国内的各大企业，这样子。
See if this is better. Can you hear better in the back? You hear better? Great. 15 years ago, we started a very simple mission at Miller Heiman. And that mission is to help our clients grow profitable sales. And I actually was Miller Heiman's largest customer. I ran a large Fortune 500 sales organization. And I was always surprised on how few companies really understood what it took to help companies drive profitable sales. So that's a mission that we started with.
所以首先，15年以前，当 Sam 刚开始接手 Miller Heiman 的时候呢，他其实是一个Miller Heiman 的一个客户。那这家客户其实也是财富500强其中的一家。他们认为整体在接手 Miller Heiman 之后呢 ，Sam 帮整个公司定位成就是要协助整体的客户，尤其是 Miller Heiman 的客户，接下来要怎么样把销售的业绩能够成长，而且有在营销获利的这个情况之下，把它做得更好。
And from a vision perspective, the vision that's been driving our business for the last 15 years is to become the key resource for sales leaders across the globe. The number one person sales leaders count on when they try and figure out how to drive their organization toward success.
Miller Heiman 的这个愿景呢，其实是想要成为销售最高层的不同的主管，他们唯一而且最主要的一个这个资源，让他们能够有效的培养他们销售整个组织里面的一些人才。
But what keeps us going every day, what keeps me going every day, is really the purpose. Why we exist as a company. The reason we exist is to elevate the role, status, credibility, and strategic importance of the sales function. And I say that with a lot of passion, because so many times sales organizations don't have any precision. They just hope to be successful. And what we really want to do is we want to bring more precision to the world of selling, which brings more credibility to sales leaders and brings more credibility to sales organizations. That's what drives our business.
而 Miller Heiman 主要的一个使命是要协助销售 组织里面每一个成员都能够更有效的把他们的工作做好，把他们的业绩达成，把他们的客户服务好。那在这个过程当中呢，其实有非常多的一些知识跟经验，它也许是一些艺术，但是实际上 Miller 他们认为可以把它更科学化、更流程化的把它执行下去。
Thanks. We've been in business 35 years. I've been the CEO for 15 years, but we've been in business 35 years. And when I think about what we've done over 35 years, the real key is that first point where our business has been set up to identify the best practices, what the best companies in the world are doing to guarantee results, and codify those best practices so we can then deliver them to other customers that can understand how to implement these best practices. That's been our secret sauce, if you would.
虽然 Sam 在 Miller Heiman 呢，总共时间待了15年，但是其实 Miller Heiman 这家公司它已经有35年以上的历史了。那其实 Miller Heiman 它尽管有它自己的一些方法，最主要的跟其他的一些差别就是它通过35年的验证，它不断的把这些知识呢提炼出一个实际可以落实落地的一个方法。
And part of that is to create a common vocabulary, a vocabulary about customers, so that people can move with more speed and precision when they're talking about how to satisfy customers. And what it takes some of the wishy-washy attitude out of things. It allows you to just quickly get to the point of what's really going on with the customer. And those processes for creating this common vocabulary, these systems around talking about customers, just drive the sales acumen of the whole organization. Everybody rises to this new vocabulary and this new process.
我们过去的经验是，如果要真的让所有的任何一个方法有效，如果能够落地的话，最主要就是整个组织里面每一个成员必须要有一套共同的语言。这套共同的语言可以让大家能够更有效，而且更高效的去把一些在销售上面的一些挑战能够把它克服。
But when I ask customers, what is it we do for them? And I say, what is it we do for you? What they typically say is this, is they say, you help us operationalize how to get close to our customers. Something everybody talks about across the globe right now is they want to get closer to customers, but how do you actually do that? We're the company that helps that actually happen by operationalizing that with processes and methodologies.
很多公司现在提到可以协助不同的各行各业，更亲近的、更接触到这个客户的前线，但是实际上并不是非常多的方法能够让每一个销售人员有效的去知道该怎么通过一些流程化的共同的语言去接触，让他们在内部可以获取一些资源。Miller他们在这一方面有一些经验，我们认为是可以跟大家分享的。
I want to talk about some of the trends shaping the selling landscape today in the world. But as I was preparing for that, I was thinking about the trends 15 years ago when I took over this company. The trends that were hot then are very different than they are now. 15 years ago, the trends were CRM. Is anybody really ever going to use CRM? That answer has already happened, right? CRM. Sales and marketing alignment. That was a big trend 15 years ago. Will sales and marketing come together, or will they continue to battle? I think that continues to be an issue in a lot of companies. And then one of the other trends was just the internet. How is the internet going to be a business tool? Well, it's become a big business tool now. I think everybody has that figured out.
15年以前，当我踏入到这个领域，接手到这个 Miller Heiman 的公司的时候呢，有很多一些趋势是那个时候大家非常备受瞩目的。其中第一个呢，就是我们谈到的，就是 CRM 的客户管理系统。那个时候是其实一个蛮崭新的一个这个概念，大家都不知道该怎么做，尤其是销售组织，他们不知道该怎么去善用，而且不知道怎么去把这个 CRM 的系统把它内化。那第二个呢，其实是在谈到就是销售跟市场之间到底要怎么样来把一个这个客户服务好，把它搭配。那第三个其实是在谈到就是说，如果整个这个线上，比如说我们通过不同的网络网站这种传销的这个方式，我们要怎么样能够协助我们的销售组织把销售工作做得更好。
But the trends today are pretty interesting. The first trend I see that makes it so hard for us to work with customers and to satisfy customers is because customers have unprecedented access to information. They know more about you oftentimes than many of your own employees. They can get that information, which really means that salespeople have to elevate their game. It's not about the product, the price. It's about really understanding what drives value for the customer. Just think, very rarely would somebody today go to a meeting and not in advance looked at somebody's LinkedIn or go to one of their profiles. They know who they're meeting with. Because of this information, people figure out who they want to spend time with. And it's changed this whole selling paradigm that you've got to have a marketing engine tied to sales. Because customers want to know about you before they meet with you, to even decide if they want to invest time. I mean, salespeople have to really elevate their game.
其中一点，在过去这10年有所做到最大的变化，就是其实这个资讯的一些互通，然后资讯的这个大家可以实际上在客户在见面之前，销售这一方面其实就可以先针对客户能够多加了解。相反的，客户呢，他也会想要了解，实际上他今天要跟谁碰面，他要跟谁能够了解，看看是不是可以提供他这些需求上面的满足。他可以直接到网上去获取一些关于这个销售人员甚至这家公司能够提供的服务，这些都是一些整体的一些可能之前并没有考虑到的这个因素。
In addition, and these I think are really exciting trends, in addition, is that everything has become so transparent. Sales operations has really driven that. The sales operations function didn't exist 20 years ago. It's driven that. So you can actually measure results. So when a salesperson says, here will be the results, somebody can actually measure those. That's a good thing. And what it means is that everybody in the business, every executive, whether they're a salesperson, whether they're in finance, operations, IT, they all have to be expert at understanding customers, customer fluency. They have to be expert at it because that's what really drives the business now. Nobody is insulated from customers anymore. And this trend, as salespeople and as sales professionals, is pretty profound because it means we have to meet with a lot more people than we used to have to meet with on very complex deals.
我们其中刚刚谈到另外一个趋势，就是因为现在很多的这个系统化的方式来管理销售的这个运作，有很多的这些资讯也变得越来越透明化。那当透明化的这个过程当中，就代表着所有销售的工作，尤其是跟客户接触、了解客户怎么去管理，它不只仅限于销售的这个领域里面。连公司其他一些部门，研发也好，技术也好，甚至是一些市场或者是其他的部门，他们都必须要完全的去以服务客户为中心，他们必须要了解这方面的一个共同的语言。
In 1990, a salesperson was told when they got an order, once a customer said yes, you were supposed to be quiet. Just take the order. Remember that? They said yes. Now you go, don't say anything. That's not true anymore. Now our job, we have to be experts. So when a customer says yes, it's our job to help them avoid the unintended consequences. Rather than just yes and take the order, we're not professional order takers. It's yes, now let us walk through some of the things you need to consider, Mr. Customer, to make sure this implementation, this solution is successful. It's seller beware, not buyer beware, it's seller beware.
20年以前，可能我们的销售人员很多把自己定位成是一个专业接单人员。那个时候，如果客户决定要采购的时候呢，我们基本上就是把这个单子接进来。但是今天我们没有办法这样做。今天我们必须要协助客户了解，如果他今天做了这个采购的决定，他如果今天选择我们的话，他们实际上今天选择的是不是有一些隐藏的一些必须要关注的一些重点，还是有没有哪一些是他必须要能够考虑到的？这些整体的这些能力呢，其实是一个销售人员他本身自我的这个发展的提升。
Thanks. So as we study customers year in and year out, and I know Doug's going to present later on our latest sales best practices study, but we study customers every year for the last decade and really trying to understand what makes great sales organizations continue to run. And these are the three themes that always come up. These three themes always come up. And I'll talk about that more in a minute, but customers at the core, not products, not own objectives, customers at the core. How do we help customers? Collaborative culture. Think how different that is from 20 years ago. Salespeople would do their own thing. It doesn't work that way anymore. Collaborative. Everybody needs to be involved in customers. Like I said earlier, everybody has to be fluent in customers. And then calibrated success, which just means measurement. Let's measure whether or not we're really winning or losing, not just how we feel about things. big differences in the way the world-class companies think about their businesses versus some of the others.
而过去我们在了解不同的销售组织，他们在运作的过程当中，我们发现有一些是世界级的销售组织，他们的绩效、他们整体运作的模式，它完全是自成一格，它完全不一样。那我们今天在接下来，我们会再跟细节来跟大家分享这些内容。但是实际上我们在观察这些世界级销售组织的时候，我们发现他们有3个特征。第一个是他们以客户为中心。针对客户，他们做的所有决定，他们做的所有行动，都是以客户为出发，他们不是以产品，不是以方案为出发。第二个是他们有一个合作共赢的文化，这些合作共赢的文化呢，其实我们刚刚有提到，现在做销售的工作跟客户接触的工作，不已经是完全仅限于在销售这个部分，所有公司内部每一个部门，它都必须要合作在一起。然后第3个是要能够衡量成效的这个指标。他们现在因为有不同的这个系统帮助他们在经营这个销售团队，所有的这个销售的整体的绩效，我们现在都能够比较量化的去衡量。而这些量化的指标呢，其实让每一个人都能够深深的去体验到，他实际上怎么可以做得更好。
The world has changed for salespeople. The world has changed for companies to satisfy their clients. Think about my very first job in 1985, working for Xerox. Selling copiers. And I remember, this is how different it is. I remember my boss saying, we've got a promotion. If you upgrade the customer from what was a 1075 to a 1090 copier, you get a bonus. And so I raised my hand. And I said, now why would the customer want to upgrade? I don't understand. Why would they want to upgrade? The machines are real similar. And he said, because you get a bonus, right? It's not that way anymore. Now it's all about the customer.
当 Sam 刚开始在 Xerox 工作的时候，在1985年的时候，他的老板告诉他说：“你反正现在要买1075型号，你现在如果客户今天要买的话，你要把它 upgrade 让它变成就是买1090的这个型号。”那他问他的老板为什么？其实他老板告诉他说：“因为你如果多卖这个1090的型号的话，你就可以拿到一个销售的这个业务奖金。”
So, after years of studying what the best organizations in the world do, we follow a roadmap that we call the sales system. And I'm going to talk to you more about the sales system. But the sales system is really just what we've seen over the last decade plus, 10, 15 years, in terms of how the best sales organizations in the world run their business, how they think about every element of the sales function. And what we've done is we've used that as our template for how we drive our business. And I'll talk about that in just a second.
我们接下来会稍微再讲一些，就是整体的这个销售的系统怎么去运营，怎么去精进。但是这些系统其实它是基于一个蓝图，这个蓝图是我们过去的经验，让我们了解到，其实任何一个销售团队，任何一个销售组织，它其实有固定的一些主要的这个模组，这是我们必须要关注的。
So let me explain the sales system just a little bit, because it'll be the framework we'll talk about for a few other things. But the best companies in the world, when they think about strategy, it starts with customers. Customers at the core. What is it their customers are trying to fix, accomplish, or avoid, and how can they help their customers? They think about that every single day. Every decision they make is around how it impacts their customers. Whether it's a reorganization, whether it's an acquisition, whether it's a new product, it's all about customers. Customers are at the core.
我们刚刚有谈到世界级的销售组织，它第一个最重要的一个特征就是它以客户为中心。我们所看到的成功的一些销售团队，所有的事情他们都是环绕在客户想要解决、达成，还有避免什么事情。
With customers at the core, the next thing they think about, and it's sequential, is they think about how do we access those customers? You know, what are the ways that how are we going to manage those clients? And that's what we call customer management. That's what we've seen over the years. So what are their systems and processes going to be for connecting with customers so they can create opportunities, so they can manage opportunities, and so they can manage relationships? You know, call that their customer management system. So it starts with the customer. Next is, how do we make sure we can access our customers in a way that drives value for our business and drives value for the customer?
所以从整体的客户为中心的这种概念出发的话，怎么样能够真的把客户服务好？怎么去有效的管理客户？从我们的角度来讲，我们认为其实有3个主要的这个步骤。第一个是我们怎么去创造这个机会，这个机会要怎么样能够去完整的去了解今天客户他想要做的、达成、避免跟解决的是什么。第二个部分是，当我们知道有这个机会产生的时候，整个销售团队他要怎么样能够去获取一些资源，把这个机会、销售机会，把这个单子直接能够把它赢得拿进来，在最快而且最有效的方式服务客户。第3个部分是，当我们已经把这些订单或是这些销售机会拿进来之后，我们怎么样维护一个长久，就是中长期的这些良好的这个合作伙伴关系。
So if they start with customers and then they think about how they manage customers, they do it in that sequence. Sometimes companies or people are surprised when they learn about world-class companies. They think they start with people first. They don't. They start with customers first. They start with how they manage those customers. From there, they then think about the business management. One of them being making sure they have the right people and the right organizational structure. But think how different that is than a lot of companies think. The best companies in the world start with what they want to do with customers and how they want to talk to customers. Then they make sure they have the right people to do that. Rather than start with people and hope that they do the right things. They build their own processes first and then make sure their people can actually activate those processes.
与其是先把一个现有的销售团队里面的成员先把它准备就绪，我们认为其实最主要需要做的方式是，任何一个成功的销售组织，它必须要先从人开始。这个人其实不是他自己内部的人，是客户。客户要怎么服务好，就是我们刚刚谈的那3个步骤。那3个步骤如果服务好之后呢，我们才可以开始来谈那人员跟组织这方面，它到底要怎么样能够把它储备的完善。
So when you think about that now, the other 2 things they do after they figure out what customers want, how to access them, making sure they have the right people, they talk about how to support them with the right systems, the right compensation plans, the right marketing support. And making sure from management execution, just think of that as leadership, making sure their leaders know how to pull things through. So it starts with customers, then you figure out how to access them. Now all these other things come into play to enable the whole customer management strategy. But it all starts with customers. And finally, on the outer ring, is that's the leader, whether that's the CEO, whether that's the sales leader, who every day has to make decisions to understand how things align and connect in that wholesale system.
假设我们把客户管理好、创造机会、赢得机会、维护关系这3件事情都能够做得很好的时候，我们就可以开始把整个销售团队，就是这个销售组织的人员，还有我们给他的支持，包含系统上面的支持，包含实质上面的一些运作的支持，然后到最后我们管理层、主管层怎么样能够去辅导、指导他们做得更好。这外环的这些东西，我们才可以慢慢把它做得好就绪。那当我们有这些内外环的这些搭配的时候呢，在最高层的销售的这些主管，他们才有办法做良好的这个决策，他们才知道怎么样把这个资源有效的分配给他们相对应的一些重点的关键的客户。
But the key to the system, the way the best companies in the world run their sales organization, is every piece of that is interdependent on each other and multidimensional. You touch one thing and it impacts everything else. You figure out a way that you're going to reorganize the business. Maybe make a decision on how you're reorganizing the sales force. Well, that impacts customers. And that impacts compensation. That impacts the way people lead. It's completely interdependent. And sales leaders really have to understand those intricacies day in and day out to make sure they keep their sales system aligned. That's what the best companies in the world do.
世界上最优秀的一些销售组织，而且在座各位，身为一个销售的主管，你们必须要了解这里面每一个这个模组，它这6块里面都是相互依靠的。我们今天如果动一个部分，其实其他部分它也会被相对的受到这个牵制。所以，身为一个销售的这个主管，我们必须要了解要怎么样去把每一个这个部分能够做得精益求精，而且呢，了解他们之间相互的一些关系。
Just a little more detail of each element of the sales system and what it really means, right? That as you go through each element of the sales system, you have to be really precise about understanding the real reasons customers do business with you. Some companies don't like to do that analysis because it's hard, right? And it makes people make trade-offs and make changes. Sometimes they like to just gloss over it. The best companies in the world want to understand in detail why customers really buy from them and why customers don't buy from them. And that knowledge, that customer knowledge, that's power. That's what drives a business.
世界级的销售组织，其实在整体的过程当中呢，他们想要知道客户为什么想要跟他们采购，这一点其实会让他们去采取很多不同的行动。那这个过程当中呢，其实让他们能够做好维护的这个关系，而且让他能够把这个实际的这个销售的这个机会带进来。
So in pursuit of this vision to be the key resource to sales leaders across the globe, the sales system has become our Rosetta Stone. It is how we think about diagnosing problems with customers and issues. It's how we think about the research that we do. It's how we think about organizing our products. And it's also how we think about growing our business. What other capabilities that we need?
所以从整体来讲的话，我们真的认为我们是以这样的销售系统呢，来指引我们接下来要怎么去发展，怎么服务客户，而且协助我们实际上各行各业的一些合作伙伴怎么去服务他们相对应的客户。
So that's been part of the strategy that brings us here today, is that I've been trying to bring more depth and breadth to the sales system, more capabilities to our clients around the globe so we can help them execute on their sales system. You know, we call it the Miller-Heiman sales system, but really it's the customer sales system. And as we bring more depth and breadth, Achieve Global was an exciting acquisition we've just made, because Achieve Global, they allow us to do, Achieve Global allows us to bring more depth and breadth to several areas of the sales system, help us with more high-velocity selling environments, helps us with leadership, management execution, helps us with operations and enablement. So more depth and breadth with that acquisition.
所以 Sam 一直试着想要把整体的这个销售系统里面，尤其是 Miller-Heiman 能够服务提供的这些项目，能够做得更深，而且更广泛。所以呢，在决定要把Achieve Global 加入到这整个行列的过程当中呢，其实 Achieve Global 所带来的不仅仅只是销售，不仅仅是服务，它其实也是一个管理跟领导的一些方法。这些其实在能够协助销售的一个主管，把他的工作跟把他组织带好，把他的团队带得更好的过程当中，是非常非常需要的。
In addition, as we look at some of the other capabilities, is 2 other acquisitions we made last year, Channel Enablers and Impact Learning Systems, allowed us to become expert in not just the direct sales environment, but the channel environment and the inside customer service environment. Right? To truly be the key resource to sales leaders across the globe, we have to be experts in all channels to market, direct, indirect, and inside. So this ends up being really these 2 acquisitions, the other 2 legs to a 3-legged stool.
我们刚刚谈到，就是 Achieve Global 这方面可以提供很多一个比较高速要成交、比较能够直接在改善的销售技巧这个部分。Miller-Heiman 在过去2年，他也同时的把其他2家公司加入到他的行列里面。第一家是 Channel Enabler， 它是专门在做渠道或者是经销商的这个销售的这个补助。另外一个是 Impact， 它是专门在做电话行销的这方面。所以整体来讲，不管我们今天是在卖直销或者是实际上是通过经销商，或者是通过不同的这个销售不同的管道，其实 Miller-Heiman 在过去要做的一些这个努力，跟在做整体的服务的扩充，就是要能够协助一个销售主管，能够把他的工作跟他的绩效能够提到更高。
So the combination of these businesses, we also acquired Huthwaite, which is the company that is known for spin selling. The combination of these businesses pulled together is MHI Global. You're actually the first country we've rolled this new brand out to. We've sent it to our top 100 customers, but you're the first people seeing this new brand, MHI Global, which is a collection of all of these properties, as well as more properties to come. as I try and build this vision of bringing more depth and breadth to the sales system to truly fulfill our vision of being the key resource to sales leaders across the globe. But you're one of the first to see this.
所以在销售领域这个部分呢，各位今天是在全球第一个这个活动看到的，就是当把整个Achieve Global 还有之前 Spin Selling 下面的一家公司，我们全部把它加入到这整个 Miller Heiman 的行列之后呢，我们现在就是要跟大家宣布，就是现在接下来的这个公司 combine 起来叫 MHI Global。
So I love that new logo. So from now on, it's the MHI Global Sales System rather than the Miller Heiman Sales System. As I said, that really is our Rosetta Stone, how we run our business. And when you think about what this means to our customers, what this means to our customers across the globe is it means a lot of things and a lot more value we can bring to the table. Proven leadership. I mean, I think I'm just so humbled when I think about our clients. We have really some of the best clients in the world, the largest organizations in the world that count on my company to help them manage their customers. So we've got a lot of proof in what we've done and fantastic clients that will validate the help that we've brought to their organization. So that's exciting. The best practices, right? This is what we do, all the research we bring to the table, all the sales execution best practices across the globe, and now adding more and more to that portfolio. I think the biggest one is just this holistic view of what I call customer management. You know, I think sales really is starting to equal customer management. They're the same thing now. In fact, I see that change because sales sometimes means pushing something on somebody. That's not what's happening now. Right? It's a matter of working with customers so customers get what they want, and people expert in the world of selling are expert at customer management.
所以其实过去我们在跟不同的行业里面，在做一些服务的过程当中，我们也从每一个销售领域里面的不同的主管跟成员学到的非常多。但是这些实践的这个经验，其实让我们能够更有效的知道怎么样在落实的过程当中能够把它做得更好。所以其实今天我们谈的不是只是纸上的一个蓝图，它其实是一个可以验证，而且实际上通过实践的一个这个系统跟方法。那这些方法呢，其实我们刚刚在谈整体的过程当中，有很多的一些这个细节呢。其实今天它代表的不是一个销售，销售可能我们常常会认为它就是要把一个东西卖给客户，但是其实今天我们谈到的销售，它所扮演的这个角色，其实是要怎么样有效的去管理客户。那管理客户呢，其实更直观的是在讲说，客户今天需要什么，我们能够有效把它传达到组织内部，那我们可以有效的把我们能够做的事情提供出来，来服务他们，把他们做得更好，把他们做得更能够有效益。所以这方面在整体的这个 customer management 这个部分，其实是真的我们比较从销售的角度来讲，不是在卖产品的，它是真的是能够把这个客户服务好。
I think one of the things that's exciting to all of our customers that it means as well is that our business is really driven by research, studying what the best companies in the world do and codifying that to bring it back to all of our clients. And you'll see more of that in all the brands. That research will continue to drive the products that we bring to the table and continue to help you make strategic decisions. Yesterday, I was in Hong Kong with the head of our research institute, a gentleman by the name of Joe Galvin. He's 7 feet tall, really 7 feet. You'll never forget him. But what he does is he travels around the globe and meets with clients to just walk them through what we're finding in the world of selling, the trends that we're seeing. He doesn't talk about products. He doesn't even talk about solutions for them. He just gives them a view of what's happening in the world of selling. And that's central to the way we go to market. And it's central because, remember how I started is customers have access to information. All of you do. I want to give you that information so you can use that as a resource, and then customers can learn more about us and learn if we can help them.
MHI Global 刚刚我们提到有很多实践的经验，我们希望能够通过实际在发生销售领域这些事情，能够把它做得更好。但是实际上呢 ，MHI Global 也花了非常多的这个精力跟心思，要确保我们有不断的去做一些整体的研究，所以它有一些理论的基础可以不断的通过验证。 刚刚 Sam 有提到，其实整个公司它有一个专门一个就是首席的这个研究官。那这个人呢，其实他是230公分，他非常非常的对这种销售最主要的一些最好的行为特征，他非常非常的这个有兴趣。他也时常把每一年我们所做的一些这个经验呢，跟全球各地的一些客户做一些分享。
And to truly be the key resource to sales leaders across the globe, we of course need to continue to expand our global presence. Last year, we did business in over 50 countries, and we continue to expand our offices and our partnerships around the globe with a strategy that really determines how we go to market based upon where we really have the right partnerships and the right customers. So we go to market through direct offices or through partners like HPO that bring this added expertise that can really bring value to our clients. We like that. We have partners like HPO that can put the Miller-Hyman, the MHI Global, I got to get good at that, can put the MHI Global portfolio into their whole subset of offerings and bring additional value. We like to go to market through those kind of vehicles.
Miller-Hyman 整体 MHI Global 的这个部分呢，其实在过去整年，他们已经在超过50多个国家，不断的有不同的这些各行各业的这种服务经验。那其实，在这个服务经验实施的过程当中呢，MHI Global 它采取的是2个方法，一个是直接它自己有一些办公室，它有一些办事处，它有自己的一些资源。但是呢，在固定的一些市场，比如说像台湾，它会通过一些比较有经验，而且实际上名声比较久的一些公司，比如说像哈佛气管。所以在哈佛气管40年的这些服务的过程当中呢，其实有一些整体的愿景，还有一些方法，其实跟 MHI Global 的一些使命是非常非常吻合的。也因为这样子，所以他们希望能够通过我们在这边所做的，就是整体在对台湾市场的一些了解呢，跟哈佛气管这边做出一些把销售系统跟销售的方法能够提供给整个销售领域里面的各位伙伴。
So we continue to try and do for our clients when you add everything together of all the capabilities we're bringing is to help our clients really work with both a strategic and a tactical tool set. To have both. What I find with sales organizations, this is such a good quote, many sales organizations have a strategy, but no tactics, and so they move too slow. When they move too slow, they don't get the results, and sales leaders lose their jobs. And many others, in fact, I'd say the majority of them, have all sorts of tactics. Work hard, make more sales calls, try this, try that, but with no strategy. I mean, some great companies, you would be surprised, have no strategy. And that's one of the things I like to tell clients. I use this quote all the time, is that tactics without strategy is the noise before defeat. You will lose. You will lose for sure, and just working harder isn't how it's done anymore. You have to obviously be much smarter about how you go to market.
虽然 MHI Global 很多的一些方法，可能我们认为是从美国这边过来的，或是全世界各地来的，但是 Sam 这边非常坚信，就是有一个观念，就是其实在2000、3000年以前，我们的老祖宗就已经谈到了，就是说今天每一件事情，它今天有一个整体的策略，它有执行的这个环节。这2个环节呢，其实2个都必须要有。如果我们今天只做整体的策略的这个构思，但是没有执行的这个步骤的话，到最后这件事情是不会达成的。如果今天我们就是只是在执行，而没有一个整体的这个方向跟蓝图的话，我们会感觉到做任何事情都是非常非常的没有力。
So strategy, I hear a lot of companies talk about the strategy they're pursuing, and I often use this map here. This was something developed by McKinsey some 30 years ago. So it always has 7. You know, McKinsey has the McKinsey 7, no matter what. That's 7, and it talks about how people try and grow, or how leaders try and grow their organizations organically. And you look through it: products, marketing, customer service, distribution, pricing. Those are ones CEOs often understand. They think, oh, that makes sense. We'll spend time there. But it's the bottom 2, improving the effectiveness of the sales force and improving customer relationships. Those are the ones that even back 30 years ago, McKinsey saw were the fastest to results, the least expensive, and the most enduring. But yet still, they're the most difficult. And why I think it's important is because when you look at those two at the bottom, those are really the two that connect to the whole strategy of getting closer to customers, which is what everybody's talking about. How do we get close to customers? We got to make sure the sales force is more effective, and you got to improve customer relationships.
所以过去呢，其实我们在做的很多一些跟客户的服务过程当中，它非常就是在高层的这个部分呢，其实有很多的方法可以让把公司能够经营得更良好，而且更扩大。那麦肯锡在这方面，其实30几年以前他就已经做了很多的研究。他认为说，所有的公司如果不通过一些，比如说诟病或者是其他的这些方法，它其实有7个主要的这个主要的因素，可以让它能够不断的成长。那这7个主要的因素里面，有很多是从一个最高层的这个主管他们可以做的一些决定，但是没有任何一个是比后面这2个更有效的，能够直接从客户这边了解，能够增加营收，能够增加业绩，还要有效。
It's hard to find a company or listen to a CEO talk who doesn't talk about this. Our strategy is to get close to customers. I hear it all the time. Oftentimes there's a strategy that they talk about, but they really don't even understand how to execute upon that. Right? It's just a nice platitude, a nice slogan, and everybody nods their head, but nobody knows what it means. What does it mean to get close to customers? And I find that a lot of companies, what they do is, in pursuit of that, is they try and come up with a quick fix, right? A quick fix where we'll, think about, go say this one thing to customers, or go try this one strategy. And the problem with that is customers are all different. Every customer is different. They buy differently. They have a different strategy. They have a different sales force. They play different games, meaning they have different definitions of success. What I always say is, if you try and approach getting close to customers with some magic bullet here that is a one-size-fits-all, it'll fail. It's very complex. And the reason is because one size only fits one size, right? Every customer is different, and getting close to customers means that you understand that every customer is different and requires that kind of attention.
我们刚刚有谈到，整体在客户的这个接触客户、靠近客户、能够了解客户的需求的过程当中，很多一些高层的这个主管，或是甚至很多销售人员，他们常常会有这方面的一些疑问。那也许这个疑问可能有一个大家想要寻求一个统一的答案，我们的经验告诉我们，其实并没有一个统一的答案，因为每一个客户都不一样，他们采购的方式不一样，他们需求不一样，他们实际的情况不一样，他们面临的趋势也都不一样。我们没有办法用一个一贯的方式、统一的方式来协助我们的销售的这个团队，让他们有效的去把这个客户的机会带进来。所以我们认为这一个部分其实是一个整体大家必须要认知的一个现况。
So I like to use this quote as a close because GE, several divisions have been clients of ours. GE has also been a major investor in my company for the last 15 years. I'm very proud to have them as a partner. And Jack Welch, the former chairman of GE, is legendary executive. That's what he always says, is that there's only 2 sources of advantage that exist in business. And that's learning more about your customers faster than the competition, and then turning that action into profits faster than the competition. That's what it's about. It's about getting close to customers, not from a slogan, not from it sounds really nice, but actually doing that. And that's what I'm excited about when I look at our partnership here with HPO and I look at the acquisitions we brought, is we're bringing detail. We're bringing execution and precision on how to get close to customers. That's what we do at MHI Global.
所以其实 MHI Global 背后的一个这个投资者，其实也包含 GE。那 GE 呢，前 CEO 就是人称为 CEO 教父的这个 Jack Welch， 他常常在谈到任何一个这个销售的团队，任何一个甚至一家公司跟集团，他们最关键的2个优势，比较长久性的优势，第一个是他们能够有效的去了解他们的客户，然后第二个，他能够把了解客户的这些讯息呢，有效转化成一个可实施而且可落实、可有得到绩效的这个行动方案。那这2件事情呢，其实让我们整体了解到，就是说，如果要在台湾能够更有效的服务各行各业，我们必须要协助我们的各行各业的这些伙伴更了解你们下游的一些这个客户。
So just would close with that, and tell you that that's really what our business is set up to do. The vision of really being that key resource to sales leaders means that we have to know more than anybody else in the world when it comes to getting closer to customers. We want to bring that expertise to all the companies here in Taiwan. I wanted to thank all of you for listening. And I also want to thank our partner. Doug has been one of the best partners we have across the globe, and it will be an absolute honor and a thrill to work together and bring value right here in Taiwan. Thank you so much for your time.